You know, so you got these guys like Comfy and them having these extravagant Passovers. Passover ain't supposed to be all extravagant like that. It's really like a solemn assembly, you know. And it's just like a solemn assembly, and it was a day of deliverance, you know. So everything was done in haste. Everything was quick pace, fast. You know, you had to damn near gobble the food down, you know, and then move out because we had to leave that same night, you know. It says, "For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am the Lord." All right, and that's why I got here. This is the law on it. All right, and like I said, you can read the whole chapter. All right, the next frame is Passover is the first month, the 14th day at evening to the 21st day at evening. All right, this is found in the book of Leviticus 23, verse 4. These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which you shall proclaim in their seasons. And the 14th day of the first month at evening is the Lord's Passover. All right, and on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. So now the 14th day at evening is the 15th day. So the 14th day at evening is the beginning of the 15th day. So you would keep the Passover and the feast of unleavened bread is pretty much all in the same night. And then the unleavened bread, a feast of unleavened bread, lasted 7 days. It says that on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of unleavened bread unto the Lord. 7 days you must eat unleavened bread. And the first day you shall have an holy convocation, you shall do no servile work therein, but you shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord 7 days. And the 7th day is an holy convocation, you shall do no servile work therein. So the first day to the 7th day you would eat unleavened bread, you know, and then the very next day after that would be the regular Sabbath, which you didn't have to eat unleavened bread, because the evening of that 7th day was when you were able to eat unleavened bread. Okay, and that's why I have here days, because that, you know, this is basically giving you the days when the Passover is to be kept, and certain ordinances or certain laws that are to be kept. All right, so now I'm going to move on to the next frame. The next feast is the Feast of First Fruits. All right, it says the Feast of First Fruits, Feast of Harvest, or the Feast of Weeks. And this is how you say it in the Hebrew. Chag Thakwaya Tha I'm sorry, Thakwatazayar. Chag Hakwatazayar. And then there's another name for it, Chag Shabbatai. All right, so the Feast of Weeks is Chag, or Feast Shabbaith. I'm sorry, Shabbaith, which is Feast of Weeks. And then the Chag HaQuatazayar is Feast the Harvest. Okay, it says it's the 50th day offering to the Lord of your first fruits. All right, and what would happen was, when you kept the Passover, the Sabbath day, the last Sabbath of the Passover, which, you know, the regular Passover, from that point on, the next day after that, that's when you will begin your count. All right, that's why I have here first fruits. All right, so in the next frame here it says Feast of First Fruits, law instructions. Leviticus 23:9. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When you be come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then you shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest, and he shall wave the sheaf before the Lord, to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Sabbath the priest shall wave it, and you shall offer that day, when you wave the sheaf, and he lamb without blemish of the first year, for a burnt offering unto the Lord. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2/10 deals of fine flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire unto the Lord for a sweet savor. And drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the 4th part of an hin. And you shall eat neither bread, nor parched corn, nor green ears, until the selfsame day that you have brought an offering unto your power. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. And you shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that you brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Sabbaths shall be complete. So the day, the after the Sabbath day of the Passover, then you would count from that point on 7 Sabbaths, which is 7 Sabbaths is, 7 times 7 is 49. Alright, it says, even unto the morrow after the seventh Sabbath shall you number 50 days, and you shall offer a new meat offering unto the Lord. So basically, those 7 Sabbaths, at the end of them 7 Sabbaths, you will have the 50th day, which is the Feast of First Fruits. That's why in the New Testament it was called the Feast of Pentecost. Why? Because the Penta is 5 or 50. Alright, so the Pentecost was the feast of the 50th day. Alright, which represented the first fruits of your harvest, which you would basically offer to the Lord. And that particular feast also represents the first fruits of the Lord, of his elect. So that was that's when the disciples, which at that time became apostles, they were given spiritual power on that particular day, because they were those first fruits. And then they went from that point on to gather the rest of the first fruit. Alright, so this is the law on the first fruits. And like I said, there's other scriptures you can go through and learn more about the first fruits from. Alright, the next frame is honor Yahweh with first fruits. Proverbs 3:9. Honor the Lord with thy substance, and with the first fruits of all thine increase. So that's the honor. So whenever you would reap your harvest, you would honor the Most High with the first increase of your harvest. Alright, now I'm going to go to the next frame here. Memorial of blowing of the trumpets. Alright, memorial blowing of the trumpets is also known as Zakar 1 Zakar 1 Tharawai. I'm sorry, Tharawai. Zakar 1 Tharawai. Zakar 1, the word here is Zakar. As you see, as Zakar, this part means to remember. Zakar 1 is like a memorial. Alright, so Zakar 1 Tharawai. No, Tharawai. Now Tharawai means trumpets. Alright, so the memorial of trumpets is the head of the new moons. Now the so-called Jews, they call it Rosh Hashanah. Which Rosh Hashanah, you have Ra'ash, which is head, and Shana, which is year. Rosh Hashanah, they call it the head of the year. Alright, so Ra'ash is head, Ha-Shana, Ha is the, and Shana is year. So the head of the year. That's when they keep their new year, but that's not what this means. What this means is that this is the 7th month. On the first day of the month is the head of all the new moons. It's not the beginning of the year, because we already read that the Passover, around the time of the Passover, was the beginning of the year. So they're going off. So this basically represents the head of the new moons. This is the top new moon out of the whole year, but it's not the beginning of the year, because the beginning of the year begins with the Passover. And I have the word trumpets here. Alright, and we'll explain that. Alright, the next frame is memorial blowing of the trumpets is the 7th month, the first day of the month. So what you would do is, at the very last day of the 6th month, that evening, whenever the new moon was to come in, that evening, before the new moon, that evening would be the actual first day. Because remember, the days are kept from evening to evening. That's how you count a day. So in this particular day, which was a new moon, you would keep it the night before. And this is in the book of Leviticus 23:23. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, in the first day of the month, you shall have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets.